you can see that the oil definitely was coming from the O-rings.
I'm ready, dude.
All right, well, the car caught on fire. You may see the remnants of the fire extinguisher.
Welcome back to another video, everybody. I appreciate you clicking on today's video. It's hopefully going to be some good news. You guys may recall I just purchased a 2008 Z06 and it had some problems right off the rip. It's burning oil, it's puffing blue, it's leaking oil. So I left the car at Jay's, brought my drag car 3 hours home. Today I'm going to drive this car 3 hours back to the Z06. Jay and I are going to look at the car, hopefully fix the Z06, whatever's wrong with it, and then drive it back to Georgia. So a lot of traveling, hopefully nothing goes wrong, but you guys will be here if it does.
First order of business, I need to get a whole lot of E85. There are no stations in Valdosta, so I need to make this thing go about 200 miles or so with whatever I can get in the gas tank and whatever I can bring with me, which shouldn't be too difficult.
Now, before I get too deep into today's video, I wanted to mention to you guys that I am doing a HELLHORSE twin turbo kit giveaway at 100,000 subs. Now, I know 100,000 subs is pretty far and pretty steep, but we set big expectations around here. Rules are fairly simple. At 100,000 subs, I'm gonna make a post probably on Instagram. Random, one of the comments are going to be selected and somebody is going to get their custom HELLHORSE twin turbo kit spec'd exactly how they want it, but on my dime. And of course, Jeff being Jeff, the owner of HELLHORSE, he's going to be awesome as well. Throw in a set of FIC injectors and a tune from Rob Shoemaker. So somebody is going to get pretty much $12,000. So the support's been crazy. And if we had 100,000 subs, that is something I'm more than happy to do for you guys. Again, if you're already here, I appreciate it. And if you've already subbed, I appreciate it. Once we hit 100,000 subs, I can't wait to do that for someone.
Now, let's go ahead and get a cold start, wake up the entire neighborhood, and see if this thing can make it another 3.5 hour drive without blowing up on me. $2.49 per gallon. We're gonna get 5, 10, 15, and however much that needs.
All right, we bid $54 on 21 gallons. That's not too bad. Now, if all goes well, you're not gonna hear from me until I get to Jay's. If it doesn't go well, you'll hear from me in a bit on the side of the interstate. Ah, dang. Well, it's definitely one of those days. One of my E85 jugs fell over and I turned around and it was just dumping, so I had to pull over. And not to mention I'm coming off the flu, so now my car smells like E85, I'm sick, and I still have 3.5 hours to go. So at least the car didn't break. Gotta see the positives.
Definitely do not want to light a match in this car. It would not end well. Made it to Velocity Motorsports. Let's go see how the old vet's doing. Oh,
The hoses, bro.
where's the hood at?
Dude, this really good looking dude. Wait. This really good looking dude came in and just carried it away with one hand because it's so light.
Really?
Yeah, detailer's got it, dude. He said it would looked awful.
There was one imperfection on the entire car as far as the paint goes, and it was on the hood, so detailer picked it up and he's gonna paint correct ceramic coat, see if he can get that thing fixed. Anyways, I guess now we can try and find where that leak's coming from, and while we're at it, the valve cover gasket that was just changed is leaking again. So made it like 300 miles without leaking. So I thought RPM was supposed to not leak, but from what I've heard now, they always leak, so we may need to change those out. So Jay is thinking that the leak is coming from in the valley, which would be promising, because then we don't have to take the entire car apart to do the rear main seal, but first you have to take the intake off to see that.
Pay for it? Oh, that one was the best one, dude. Just come closer, dude.
Oh, that's good, right? Is this supposed to look like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a modular spark plug wire. It's good.
Okay.
Can you see the crack?
I can see the crack. So you think
And then-
every one of them is...
Well, I can't see it on this one, but you can feel it, like right here. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Every single one of them's cracked?
Yeah, dude. Maybe that's why you saw the spark jump into the header, because it's
That would actually make sense.
no insulator.
Though I went ahead and pulled the spark plug wires from the driver's side. They're cracked, but I got them out in one piece. So far, 3 of the ones on the passenger side look like this. So at the very least, new spark plug wires.
God. I think I broke my wrist, dude.
Did you get it?
Does it look like I got it, dude? First spark plug is out, and that's what you like to see is a little bit of oil on the threads, dude.
Oh, that's just awesome, man. All 8 plugs are out. They look not the best. Some don't have oil. Most do. Is that it?
Dude, that's Ford stuff. You'll never have to worry about
Oh, okay. Well, next is the scary step. The compression test. Dun, dun, dun.
Bum, bum, bum.
Did it make compression?
240.
240. We're just going to go ahead and do the other 7 now. I'll let you know if there's anything different. Well, our first lick of good news. They all made compression around 235, 240, so pretty good, pretty good. What is the next step?
Put a coyote in it.
Put a coyote in.
What?
We're done with the compression test. We're going to move on to the leak down test, which is pretty much you just build up pressure and you see if it's leaking. I have a feeling this is not going to go as good as our compression test. Jay went ahead and did the leak down test while I went and got some parts. I went ahead and got some new oil, filter, spark plug wires so that I can change all of those. And good news, the leak down test actually went well, contrary to what we all thought. Next up, we are going to take the intake off. Jay thinks he knows where the leak is coming from and does not think it's any of those expensive to get 2 seals. So hopefully it's something that we can switch fairly easily, fairly quickly, and get this thing back on the road and back to Georgia without buying a whole new motor.
Oh my god, dude. There is so much oil in there, dude. See, this is gonna be so nasty underneath, dude. Oh. Look, there's a roach. Yeah. That looks like ass. Ported heads, dude?
Yeah, it does have ported heads.
Doesn't matter because they're fucking full of shit.
You can see that the oil definitely was coming from the O-rings, which is weird.
There shouldn't be oil in the intake, should there?
There should not.
So, Tuner said that they probably overfilled it last time, so hopefully that's the issue. Also fixed a little coolant leak, so hopefully after this, it should be all good.
You can see that the oil definitely was coming from the O-rings, which is weird.
There shouldn't be oil in the intake, should there?
There should not.
So, Tuner said that they probably overfilled it last time, so hopefully that's the issue. Also fixed a little coolant leak, so hopefully after this, it should be all good. So, everything is cleaned off now. We should be good there. The issue, again, is these O-rings. So, these are completely toast, and you could see the catch can was routed directly into the intake, and the O-rings were not seated, so oil was getting through into the motor, making it puff. So, I have somebody picking up all new O-rings for me and driving them here tomorrow morning, first thing, so that we can get this thing back home tomorrow. Hopefully, that's the only issue. Gone. That's pretty much everything that we can do for the night. And then I guess tomorrow we're going to tackle the intake manifold and put the new O-rings on there, and hopefully everything should be fixed.
It's gonna be broken still. Still a Chevy. Idiot.
This is where we are going to leave things off for the night. Hopefully tomorrow should be pretty simple. We're going to need to replumb the catch can because we were told to not have it plumbed directly into the intake, which is exactly where it was plumbed prior. So, new O-rings should be here tomorrow around noon, and then it should just be pretty simple from there. Hopefully she's not puffing blue smoke after that and leaking everywhere. Say goodnight. Say goodnight.
Good night, guys.
Good night. See you in the morning.
It's the next morning. I'm waiting on Connor to deliver these O-rings for the intake manifold. While I wait, I'm going to go ahead and do an oil change, so I'm not just standing here. We have like 2 hours until he gets here. Probably shouldn't take 2 hours. Hell, it may take me 2 hours.
We got some VR1 20W50. Pretty sure this is not what you're supposed to put in there, but it's what the tuner said, so that's what I'm going to use. We've got the car in the air again. This has a dry sump system, so you actually have 2 drain pans. You have one for the oil pan and one for the actual tank, so we're going to drain both of those and then swap out the filter. You can see why we were so alarmed under here. It is disgusting, to say the least. There's so much oil, so much residue. That doesn't look too bad. Went ahead, cleaned up a little bit. It's not perfect, but it's starting to look less like a Chevy, more like a Ford. Gonna go ahead and lower it down and throw some oil in it. All right, went ahead, changed the oil, did 8 quarts for the dry sump tank, and then 2 quarts under the valve cover. Connor saved me. Picked up some O-rings for the intake manifold, which should be able to reassemble it and then be good to go. So it only ran me 170 bucks, but I got the O-rings. Shout out to Connor for picking them up. So we should be able to swap these over to the intake right there, swap out the bad ones, put this thing back together, and we should be good to fire it up and hopefully not have a dud anymore.
Do you not
I
water?
like the way you looked at me just now.
Do you not water your intakes? Not the Throdacy. Not the Thrissy.
4 times, that water's still fucking nasty as fuck coming out. It's supposed to be clear coming out. It was brown, like your bath water.
If anybody knows the specs of how much water you put in the intake, I couldn't find it online, so I'd appreciate it.
I did. Wait, don't blow the fucking cooler, dude. I'm pretty sure there's beer in here.
Around, we're actually going to torque it down to the specs so that oil doesn't get all inside the motor. Alright, I'm not going to lie. I have spent an ungodly amount of money on spark plug wires because there's a relocation kit for the MSD intake. As you see, it's dark outside now. So I've gone to the store like 4 times. Those didn't work. Cost me $90. Got another set, $80. Did not work. Got this set he randomly pulled out. Don't know what they go to, but they fit. So hopefully it works.
So that's not gonna work.
Okay, so as you saw, the oil was shooting everywhere. So maybe it was overfilled. I was told 10 quarts. I put 10 quarts in there. So instead, that should have just been ventilation for the sump tank, not a direct piss stream of oil. So now we're going to start it again, and hopefully it will shoot its excess oil into this, you know, jug, because...
Or all the oil.
Or all of the oil.
Knox. Take 2. Take 2. Let's see what happens.
Well, we've got oil flow.
The car caught on fire. You may see the remnants of the fire extinguisher. Yeah, so some oil dripped earlier when filling the oil down there onto the collector, and that caught on fire. So it's like a little piece of plastic that is lodged in the knot of headers, doused in oil.
Dude, the headers are ridiculous on this.
Do I need to sell this thing?
Yes.
Has to sell this just because whatever's in the head.
It runs and drives, however.
It's a rolling
It
fire.
does kind of randomly combust. Well, that right there, that is your culprit. I don't know if you could see earlier, but anything that we were taking out of that engine bay was cracking. It was super brittle, probably because of how old it is or how long it sat. And it fell directly onto the header, coincidentally, right where I spilled a little bit of oil. So it combusted, it busted, and it caught on fire. So, yeah, that's literally just pissing oil.
Hey, here comes the best part.
That isn't posting videos on TikTok about this.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they're supposed to be doing that. All right, so the valve cover gasket actually was a little bit off, so that would explain, hopefully, why that was leaking. I don't want to speak too soon. It is still a little full on oil, not sure why, but we're going to drain a little bit, and then we are going to try this thing again. Fire extinguishers ready this time.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
for fire. If there is a fire, let's put it out, okay?
All right.
All right, maybe grab a fire extinguisher. You ready?
I'm ready, dude. We'll do the thing again.
It actually sounds a lot healthier than it did before. Alright, well, it is perfectly fine now. It's no longer chucking oil out over there by the sump tank. So, we're gonna throw it on the dyno and see what kind of power it makes. This video has had so much go on, so the dyno is gonna be a separate video. I apologize, you're gonna have to come back. So, I hope you enjoyed today's very, very, very chaotic video. I will see you guys in the next one where hopefully we see some pretty impressive numbers. Now this is on the tune that was on the car. It will be changed once I get the tuning device. So I appreciate you guys tuning in today's video. I will see you in the next one.